Okay, so we spent the afternoon here straightening out the grape trellis here, the arbor, and we pretty much took these long sumac trees from my sumac coppice. This is a piece of wood that was cut probably maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And sumac is great because it splits and it makes all these Ys, so it's perfect for these kind of support pieces. The wood does kind of rot quick, especially if it's like left on the ground, and if it's in the air, it does get a little brittle. So I wouldn't really necessarily plan that that's going to be a permanent feature, but it lets me straighten it up so that I can put in the cross members. I need to just add cross members like this down through all those posts, something that I've been meaning to do, but it's always just low priority. And then we did a biochar batch, and I'll show you a little speed up of that after this section here. And all the bigger pieces that we ripped the smaller twig and branches off, we took the bigger pieces and just kind of ran them in this lattice here, and just haphazardly. And my idea is that we can throw cloth over top of this for protection for the chickens. The run is going to go in here. So we could throw cloth over that, if like hardware cloth or just even shade fabric, to stop divers from coming in. But to be honest, I don't really know, maybe you guys can tell me, but I don't know if a aerial predator is going to dive bomb through this, especially when the grapes come right across and kind of cover it up. To me, that seems like a precarious situation for a predator to do. So I'm thinking this might be a kind of a nice shelter, and maybe we can save on materials for, you know, a hardware cloth across the top. Let me know, you chicken keepers out there, should I just go full out and cover the whole top of it? Let me know if you think that would suffice. And then what I might do is add these leaning members, and then I can grow cucumbers and pumpkins and squash, maybe even grapes, cold hardy kiwi, maybe up all of those. I can throw some cross members in, and maybe that'll be like a kind of cool little chicken hideout underneath there as well. And we'll open it up to this back side as well. I might do that this second year because we've got some walnuts, and there's the kiwi growing up the post there. So we have those in there. I want to get them established before we maybe get chickens in there. So what we might do for the first year is fence the chickens off in this section here, let these get another year of growth fed by the chicken manure, and then next year maybe we'll open it up and double the size of this thing, and then maybe we'll kind of try to keep sneaking and making it bigger and bigger, but that's just between you and me. And my idea with this is that I want this to be just chicken tunnels everywhere. So we'll plant tons of stuff like elderberry and hazelnuts all in and around here that the chickens can browse off of, and then that they're also these little hiding tunnels where the chickens can get right under a bush, so they have shade in the super hot days, and then they have predator cover and protection. And that's kind of my idea of what I want this to look like, is a bunch of chicken tunnels, a bunch of chunnels. So let's I did a time lapse of making the biochar, and I'll leave you with that. I think it'll be good enough for a video today. I'm taking all my compost just before we put it into the garden, and I'm giving it another turn here. And this is compost with a ton of biochar in it from last year. So you can see all the nice biochar in this horse manure and compost mix. So that'll be tons of fertility, tremendous fertility. And then this was the biochar run for the day. I did throw a little bit of leaves in there in the end and it didn't get fully done, but that's okay. This is all great charcoal here. And just remember, with the biochar, you want it to be really hot. You want to make sure that, see how I'm rubbing my hands? Let me go wash it and I'll show you. There's bio oils in the biochar, and you want to get your hot gas layer really, really hot. And that's so that all those bio oils burn off. And if you still have that residue on your hands at the end, it means it's probably not done, and I might start my batch the next time with that. So we'll kind of wet our hands and see if we can get our hands clean. If we can, then that means that the run was done hot enough. If we can't and we keep scrubbing and scrubbing and we get that black oil on, then that means we're not done. And it looks pretty good, actually. You can see this here, little pond, hand dug pond. We've been growing lots of duckweed in here. So this is fantastic fodder for the chickens. And I got my hugel mound here that we have to fill in more soil. This is what can happen to a hugel mound on year 2, is that, you know, the rains and everything hit it, kind of wash all the dirt down in. And if you didn't do a great job putting it together, which I knew I wouldn't have because I kind of rushed this, you get these pockets and crevices, and then animals also will dig in them and make them. So what we'll do is we'll come down with the tamper and we'll just bonk this all the way down, and then we'll fill it back in with manure, and we'll just do that for, you know, the next couple of years and just get that all nice and tight. So thanks for watching, and I'll leave you with a little time lapse of making biochar. Have fun, go forth and be productive.
Thank you.